Hi everybody, we're Rob and Leslie Hildebrand.
Welcome to the Château de la Grifferaie.
3 years ago, we sold or mortgaged everything we had to buy this beautiful chateau.
With the hope that we could create a special place of learning for young people to learn about their world and themselves.
It's been an amazing adventure so far, with so much more to come.
So come along with us as we wake this sleeping beauty and restore her to her former glory.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's video. By the way, we've been doing good, eh? We've pretty much getting one video per week all year. So it's been super fun. Leslie's still in the United States and I am going back to the United States this week. Next week, the video will be, we're gonna have footage from Amy's wedding. Very exciting. Some of you guys have watched the channel for a long time. Remember Amy, she's really funny. She was in the Chateau and did a bunch of work. And anyways, so it's gonna be her wedding, this next video, which really excited. We'll have some great clips and you'll get to see Leslie and Amy again. But for me, I'm finishing up a bunch of jobs this week and you can follow along. As per request, there's a hymn at the end, How Great Thou Art, by request. Also, I found a beautiful song by Chopin that is just the perfect emotion for you know, a guy when you're kind of mourning the loss of the last group that left and then anticipating the next group coming. And so I did kind of that at the very end too. Kind of fun, but watch the video, enjoy some good shots, and yeah, thanks for joining us. Okay, here we go. Starting our last week at the Chateau before the wedding, before I head back to the States. And got a nice little bit of rain today. It's good. For the first time in the year, the grass had started to get a little bit brown, but now it's gonna perk right back up. You can see before I go, I really wanna get rid of we've got all these tree branches that we've cut and there's still piles and piles of them sitting outside. So I gotta get those put away before I go, because as soon as we get back, the students are going to come really quick. I think we have something like 5 days in the Chateau after we get back before the students arrive at the start of September. Quick turnaround, so it's got to be ready. Like a good bachelor, I figured this would be the chance to conserve while Leslie's gone. We don't need the finer things. And so I turned the hot water off. And basically what I'd do is I'd run the hot water for maybe like couple hours every like 3 or 4 days, and honestly this thing stays warm forever, but now it is no longer warm. 20 is about what it gets down to, but 40 is what it sits at when I leave it off. But that's like 3 or 4 days, so you know, I had a couple lukewarm showers, but now we'll get her back on. I'm gonna have a nice shower today, nice warm shower. Because of that, we've used hardly any fuel. Some of you might be interested. I decided to put a painter's tape and try to track it. Now mostly we've had this one full. This one, I think we had some in. I believe we have about a quarter of a tank in this one maybe down there. So just a little bit. This one we had right full. And so you can see we started, what day is that? That's probably April. No, that's even May. That's May 10th there. And then April 24th, May 24th here. So we used that before the students, oh no, the students got here. Then it starts to, well, I'm very confused here. Oh, that's a different day, that's 23. May 24, that's how much we use in a week. June 5th, then we had the Trinity guys. And so that was good. Trinity Western down to July 13th here. Then August 10th, so in a month I've only used that much. And then it's in the 20s now, August. So it's actually right there, we almost used nothing the last week. So that's great. Now we still have, I'm gonna say a solid half left. Solid half a tank, so we probably don't need to get more fuel before next year. Although I might watch the prices if it goes down, and it's not a bad move to fill it up a little bit. Side note, as we make one more screen, this is the premier etage, so it's our second floor, and it's only, I believe it's only 12 feet tall or 14 feet tall. Yeah, 14 feet tall instead of 16. And yet that's one window. That's one window compared to a door, a good sized door I might add. It gives you kind of a sense of the scale. Sometimes I think people lose the scale. And that's not even the biggest window. Like a window like that is bigger. You know, they've got, this is the main floor. This is the 15, I think it's 15.8 feet high, 4 something meters. And it's quite, those windows are huge. Okay, I don't like that one as much. The wire that we were bought for the other ones is aluminum, and it was $37 a roll, so that was kind of spendy. So I found this one for $16, and it's bigger. You can get a couple windows, but I can see why it's cheaper. Can't see out of it as well. So you know what? For now, we're just gonna stay with it. We can switch the wire out easy enough later if we want to, but honestly, these screens are just when it's super, super hot out. And so they're kind of an emergency situation. And they're gonna keep the birds and the bats out. And that's what we needed to do. Okay, finishing up some projects. First of all, I gotta get some black paint, and I gotta fix that when we had to repair the door that one time. And I gotta clean the shower, but I think we got her fixed. The plumber came and he put some silicone on it. Now, honestly, I have lots of silicone. He asked me if he should do it or if I wanted to do it. And I thought, well, he'd already come out and done all the work. I thought he deserves to get paid for it. So we let him do it, and we'll see what the bill is, but he's been pretty good to us. So we're gonna paint that black. We'll see if this thing leaks. And also, there's a little bit more to do. We're gonna paint that. We never got that pipe painted black, so that's why that looks so goofy. We'll paint that black. And I think maybe then just one more of those little hooks to, one of those door hooks to keep this door, sitting a few inches open. This room is what's the word? Susceptible, that's the word, to moisture. So we'll get a little hook in there, and that'll help the students leave the window open a little bit when they're showering if they want to air it out a bit. Now, some folks have asked, why is it that Chateau don't have screens? Several people have made that comment. And I don't know for sure. Obviously, the houses are a lot older, but I think one of the reasons is there's just not as many mosquitoes here. Like coming from Saskatchewan in Canada, there are so many mosquitoes, you'd never leave an open window. Here, they're just not an issue. You leave a window open, maybe at some points of the year, there's some flies that are annoying, but typically speaking, the insects is just not an issue, at least in this part of France. So that's why I imagine screens are less of a thing. For us, it's birds and bats we're worried about. Side note, notice how the mullions don't quite match. Well, the problem is the window is window's not level. The screen is level and the window slightly dips down. So, there it is. It's 165 years old. And here is what we have the perfect opportunity. We're here before the flooding has started, so I can kind of track where the water's coming from. I'll get out the shovels and I'm gonna build a bit of a dam. We're gonna direct the water somewhere else. The perfect time to do it, just when the water's coming down. The bad news is I am quite wet. The good news is, it's actually relatively simple. You just pack a little bit of dirt, move it this way. That'll level out. We'll just keep this a little higher. We'll let this area fill up with dirt so then the water runs off that way. There are you can kind of see a couple natural currents that have formed. One there. And so we'll try to tap into those. You can't really see them when it's dark, when it's not raining, but this is definitely a bit of a low spot. So we'll keep pushing dirt this way over time. And for now, little simple gravity will work to our advantage. Okay. The rain's helping us. This is where it wants to go. It wants to come down here. And this is where we'll help it to go. Well, a couple days till I head out, and we actually have our church here in France is going to come and use the property while we're gone. And so I'm going to try to clean it up as much as I can. It's tragic that we're gone when they're here, but because I would have loved to mow it right before they got here. But you're going to try to cover some of this. There's always scruff. Grows up real quick. So I'm going to take it down. I already did that side. And I'll go around to some of these big trees. We're going to try to clean it up as much as we can. 2 days left to work, so I got to work fast today. I gave myself till noon to get this done, and I think I pretty much got it. There's still a bunch of scrap on the edge there. I'm going to try to mow some of it. It's all small, and I'll get the hedge trimmer out. We're really starting to be able to see through. There's still a bit over there, but perspective is always a little tricky to try to catch here, and there's little things that help you see it once in a while. So for example, see this little guy? This guy growing up here, this was the edge. That's a couple that got missed. So the edge was here, and the edge of the forest, and now it's back there. I don't know what that is, 15, 20 feet. So we reclaimed a lot of land. The scrub had come all the way out, down from the trees, up from the ground. And honestly, I always thought it felt a bit uneven how far it came in on this side. So I like what it does to the Chateau. But even more, I think I just like how cleaned up this is going to be, and I cannot wait to see the rhododendrons next spring, what's going to happen. So still lots of work, but at least it's clean, so when you drive by, we'll mow it up, and clear the ground, make it look good. Then when people drive in for the first time, it won't look terrible. At least there'll be work to do still, but it'll look good. Well, here we are. We're cutting down trees here in the forest. Now this is not uncommon. Sometimes the tree pinches the saw and you can't get it out. This one is the worst I've ever had. So I took the saw apart and I took the chain off and I can't seem to get it. So I'm gonna take the axe to it. And I'm just gonna cut the tree up there, and then there won't be as much pressure. Should be able to follow it easily then. That's the plan. Okay, I don't know if it's just because I have a wood splitting axe instead of a cutting axe, or my inability to axe over my head, but it was not going anywhere, so I got a reciprocating saw. And that's going much better. Man, it feels like we're almost all the way through. I'm surprised this tree isn't falling. Here we go, keep going. Ready for the action. It's a little bit heavy. Wow, still nothing. Look at that. I'm literally gonna have to speed this up. How can this be holding? Ooh, now we're in business. Okay, now it's pinching me over here. Huh. Okay, we got it. It's hanging free, but it's all wrapped up in other trees. So now I should be able to get this chain out. One would think. Hey guys, it's 9:30, long day. Normally I would flip this bench around and put the Chateau in the background, but I am too tired. So you're just gonna get to look at the Chateau. How about that for a plan? It's a beautiful Chateau, much more beautiful than me. Wow, long day. And tough day, honestly, tough day. It's 2 days till I go back, and so I knew today was gonna be tough because there's lots and lots to do to close down the Chateau and to try to get things to where we want them. Man, when I was teaching, back in the days when I was teaching college, I used to teach a class on leadership, and my colleague before me used a wonderful book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People for personal effectiveness. And so I read it, and my goodness, what a great book. It's so many good ideas, transformative ideas, like pursuing the win-win. I love that, you know, in every business opportunity, in every situation, trying to find a situation where everybody wins. Life is not a zero-sum game. You can both win at the same time. It's not like board games. And that's transformative. Another one is not quite as fancy, but no less profound, is the whole idea of being proactive. Proactive instead of reactive. You know, like reactive is you stumble through your day and stuff happens and it controls how you feel and what you do. Whereas proactive, you wake up and you decide what you're going to do for the day, and you decide how you're going to feel to some extent as best you can, and you decide how you're going to react to people. So for example, today I wanted to be proactive, and I did fairly well for most of the day. I got up and I knew I had a lot of work, so had to get up at 7, had to meet some folks that are going to use the Chateau. So that's earlier than I'd like to, but you know, had to get up and do it. And had a bunch of bad things happen. My mic has not been working great on this phone, and so I was going to use an external mic. We bought one a couple of years ago. It's great. It's a Rode, pretty cool. And so I put it on the stand. I was carting it around to do like those time lapses and stuff, and it ended up falling off, and I ended up mowing it. So there you go. Ouch. What else happened? There's a couple of other bad things. One of our GAs is running into some visa trouble. He went all the way down to San Francisco to get a visa, and they told him he didn't need one, and now they're telling him he does, and so he doesn't have time, and so we'll see. Hopefully, we're really hoping he's still able to come. That was kind of stinky. I can't remember what else happened. There's a couple other things too. Well, I got hit by a tree, and that was nothing I could do about safety clothes for that. The trees are complicated. I cut a lot of trees today. One of them as it was falling kind of kicked out and hit me right in the chest, and that felt like when I used to play football, to be honest. It felt like just a good shot straight on with the helmet. So but anyway, a lot of other things. A tough day, kind of a lousy day in some ways, but you know what, you just keep going and you decide that you're not going to get too whiny about it, which is a challenge for me because I'm a little bit naturally whiny. But on the upside, got lots done, and I'm trying real hard to make the chateau beautiful so that when Leslie walks in, she's not going to be overwhelmed with all the things that need to happen, because she's working super hard on the wedding, and this has been a challenging year. And so, you know, I really wanted to put in a good day of hard work and get the house vacuumed and clean some bathrooms so that when she walks in, it's not overwhelmingly depressing. And then of course, when you're married, you know your spouse, and the other thing that Leslie definitely wants is milk. There needs to be milk in the house when she arrives, so we're in good shape. I've saved one completely untouched. That will be ready for her to drink when she gets back. Okay, anyways, hope that's helpful. Maybe it's helpful to you. You know, don't be controlled by the circumstances. I'm trying not to be today, and there's some other things too. I can't remember what they were, but anyways, there's about 4 or 5 things. But in any case, let's not be controlled by them. Let's decide how we're going to react and how we're going to respond, and stay productive, stay positive. All right, it's the last day in France before I go back for the wedding. Very exciting. Looking really forward to seeing Leslie and the kids and having a great wedding. Really sad to leave this place. This has become home. And I just wake up every morning here thinking we are so fortunate to live here, especially this last couple of weeks, just having so much, like, I've had a lot of solitude and a lot of time off, and we've been working pretty hard this year, and so to have kind of a reasonable schedule. I guess I still worked until, sometimes even till the evening, but something just about the quietness, and it made it very, very restful. And so I wake up, now that I'm rested, I just wake up really, really grateful for being here. So, okay, we're gonna do our jobs. We're gonna take away all the garbages. We're gonna lock everything up. We're gonna close shutters. We're gonna turn on all the security cameras, all 9 of them or whatever we have. And I'm gonna mow this one more time so that when the church comes next week, it will hopefully look not too overgrown. It looks great right now, but I'm just gonna get one last little mow in. Water the plants, so many things. Vacuum, clean bathrooms. Yeah, full day. This is super cool. The guys from Orange and from Fibre are here. So we got some good news. The guys came today from the Fibre, the specialist in locating. And so last time we found that there's a metal box there, so it runs into the house there, but then we couldn't figure out where it went. And it's like half a kilometer to the road, that direction. So unexpectedly, the wire goes this way. He tracked it, he had really cool, they had some really cool tracking stuff. It was kind of like a metal detector, but a really fancy one. And also he put this special line into the ground. And so unfortunately, he only had enough line to go to here. And this was the first one. He could go this far, and so he tracked it to here. And from there, again, still the better part of half a kilometer. There it is, right there. So we didn't know where it was, and I was thinking, well, this would be really bad if we had to run line all the way to the road. Didn't know where it came out. So good news, we kept looking. I showed him the stables, and there's a couple things at the stables that turned out to be extremely helpful. We saw a wire coming in, and it is in fact the phone line, and then another one on the corner, which he was able to find another conduit. And then so essentially it comes in down the lane, comes to the stables, it goes across the stables, goes down into the ground, comes out to the road, and then runs all the way this way. Now it's buried 77 centimeters down, so to get to it, I'm gonna have to do some digging, or they're gonna have to do some, one of us is gonna have to do some digging. But the good news is we made progress. We know where the line is. That's huge. Not simple, but we're making progress. I'm just sitting here looking out the window and thinking about that last encounter, that appointment. And you know, it was interesting. At the end, he was like, "Hey, I'm sorry for all the work, and I'm sorry it's taking so long." And he was apologizing, and I'm thinking, this is great. We figured out pretty much where the line goes. And I guess the interesting thing, like, you know, he usually deals with normal homeowners, and so they're probably thinking like, well, what's wrong? Run the wire and we're done. But then nothing is simple in a chateau. I mean, huge, long distances of runs, and I'm thinking, man, we might have to trench a half a kilometer line and buy all that wire, and I'm thinking that's gonna be really expensive. And now we figured out where it is. We just got to dig to it, and potentially, if there's any, you know, new wire and replacement, it's not gonna be bad because we found the place. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, it's hard and didn't go fast, but my goodness, could be much, much worse. Before I go, it's important to water these plants. I've been doing them once a week, and I do not have a green thumb. So most of them are looking pretty good, with one notable exception. This is the bad news, because Leslie loves this lemon tree. Uh-oh, I think I gave it too much water. I don't know. It's definitely not enough. It's not short of water. I think it was too much water. We got a pretty good rain today, so let's walk around and check stuff out. Oh, there's a bird. Classic. Classic. That's always spooky. It's doing pretty good. Here was our big leak for quite a long time. Oh, it's dry. They said they put a thing all the way across. Maybe they did. Fantastic. Well done. How's this guy doing? This guy's doing good. Yeah. Oh, first time this has been dry in a long time. That's great. Looking dry in here. This used to be the dead bird room. No, looking good. How about the corner? I could probably clear that out a bit. Generally pretty good, you guys. Generally pretty good. That's not bad. Only a couple spots. Little tiny spots. A little bit of a leak straight in the middle here. That's unfortunate. And then we got one over here too. But this may not be the roof. That might be the wall. Well, you always hate to lock it up for a couple days, but you gotta say these they do a nice job on these windows and doors. You've got a middle lock, you've got a floor lock, you've got a bar across with 2 points, and then you've got a lock up there. So you got five different points holding this. You know, if somebody wants to get in badly enough, they can drive a car into it or something. Actually, they can't coming up these stairs, but it would take some time and you'd make a mess and some noise. Not only that, so you've got the floor lock, then that lock, then you've got hooks too. These are all hooked together, plus this latch that does the top and the bottom. Then you've got the bar, then you got, what, 2 more latches. Man, and not only that, they've got these bars, not just for the Rez de Chaussée is quite high in this house, right? Like you have to come up 13 steps to get to it. So bars for every window and door on this floor. And then the next floor, there's bars. And I'm like, is somebody coming with their scaffolding to try to break into this window? Because they're not getting in. So I'm not gonna clearly put all our security measures on camera so somebody would know, but I will also say that a lot of these interior doors lock. And so you can make it a little more difficult for somebody coming in because they have to try to figure out how to get around and get through all these interior doors too. Guys, this is kind of tragic, locking up this middle window. We just don't want the sun to be on the piano all the time while we're gone. And also it's just good security. Got nice metal exterior shutters on this window. Pretty cool, eh? Look at these, they just keep folding out. And then you lock them together, big metal gate. Very unfriendly. Thanks everybody, that's the jobs. Just closing it out with some piano, so enjoy if you want to. And you know, honestly, some of these hymns, I'm not that great a player, but if you sing along, it wouldn't be so bad. So consider it. It has been so great to have this piano here in this room. Like many people, I love music, and I personally feel that when I play music, I'm able to express things that sometimes it's difficult to put into words. In a lot of ways, music feels like the language of emotion to me. You know, like if you're happy, you can sit down and play a joyful song. If you're sad, you can sit down and play sad songs. And I think to talk about spiritual life too. I personally, I feel like sometimes I can talk to God on the piano without even words. And so I love Christian worship, and I love music like that. And so it's been fun to play these hymns. Since this is the end of the video, I will play one. Somebody was requesting How Great Thou Art, so let's give that a run. Let's give it a roll. Here we go. Now let me just say, when I'm playing, I'm more of an accompanist than a soloist. So if you can, sing along, and then it'll sound a lot better with you singing and me playing, or I'll sing, or somebody's got to sing. We got Leslie here and Amy back, and we'll be in shape. Okay, we're only a few weeks away from our next group of students coming, and I'm really excited about it. And I found myself feeling kind of emotional thinking about it. And I know we're gonna love them and we're gonna have a great time. But then you kind of also realize that, oh, it's not the last group of students we had, which I also loved. And so you kind of feel this excitement and this sadness. And so I wanted to find a song that kind of put my feelings out there. And I found this one. It's a beautiful song. I'll see if I can play it correctly. I'm not much of a sight reader, but the emotion is there for sure.